Grace and peace. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Ma'at hotep. Namaste. Free the land, beloved. My name is Vicki Dillard, a very proud contributor right here on FlyNubianQueen.com, the network for melanated women just like you. Welcome, 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 dear family. I want you to be sure, family, to come in giving us the thumbs up. Be sure that you repost, that you share, because when you do that, the likeliness of drawing other people to this broadcast, this very important Black broadcast, is increased when you do that. Again, thank you for giving us the thumbs up, thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to FlyNubianQueen.com, dear family. Also, if you want to receive from time to time text notifications on your phone, be sure to text the word Queens with an S to 31996. Be sure to text the word Queens to 31996, beloved. Thank you so very much. We want you to know that we believe in strengthening the Black dollar. We believe in providing resources and avenues related to business, because we believe that economic liberty, economic empowerment is the key to a greater experience of Black liberty here in America. And so one of the things that you can do to make that real in your life and make it practical, those things that we talk about here related to Black empowerment, is to go to flynubianbusiness.com or flynubianmoney.com. flynubianbusiness.com or flynubianmoney.com, beloved. So be sure to do that today. I also want you to know, you see, I came on drinking some water because I was a bit warm and parched. I always talk about this, our mug here, Black Media Matters. You can get this wonderful mug for yourself or family, friend, or loved ones. Buy 2 or 3, buy several at shopfnq.com. That's our Fly Nubian Queen store. That's shop. FNQ. FNQ stands for FlyNubianQueen.com. We so appreciate those of you who give on the Super Chat, which we don't even really formally endorse that. So you do it of your own accord, but we like to reciprocate. And so one of the ways we can reciprocate is when you shop at our store, which again is shopfnq.com. Shout out to our wonderful moderators who do such a beautiful job in keeping this information in the comment section. So all of the things that I just mentioned, you can find it in the comment section. To all of our moderators, thank you so much, dear family, for being here. Thank you for your consistency. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your assistance and your help, dear family. Again, we thank you for giving us the thumbs up. We thank you for sharing, reposting, and liking. I know you can see, those of you that are in today, our topic today, and I'm ready to get into it. And I'm gonna let you know what inspired me to have this conversation with you today. And that is this: is there, Karen said no notification, but I know what time it is. Well, I'm so happy that you know what time it is, beloved. Is there a crisis? This is a question I'm asking. Is there a crisis of moist Black men? Is there a crisis? I want to know. Is there a crisis of moist Black men? Some of y'all are already saying yes, 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 yes. Is there a crisis? This is very serious. Now, the ad that I put up is shocking to the eyes, to be sure. The ad that I put up is shocking to the eyes. Thank you, Gary, for your gift may be returned back to you 1,000-fold. The ad that I put up, the post that I put up for today, it seems like it might be quite shocking. In fact, I'm going to go to my Instagram page and show you what I posted. This is what I posted on my Instagram page for today, related to this show. That's your boy, Terry Crews. That's your boy, Terry Crews, who's been working with the Me Too movement, who said that he was sexually assaulted when a white Hollywood executive grabbed his man package and he, I guess, just shoved him a little bit or something, but he certainly didn't do anything worth writing home. There's nothing to write home about. Somebody talk Black to me. And we'll get into some of these things here in just a minute. But let me tell you, a tweet that Terry Crews recently put out is what inspired this in part, but also a video of a ball player by the name of Mr. Barnes is also what inspired me to have this conversation today about moist men. Now, you will have observed, those of you who know Terry Crews, that he is what could be considered in his build as the epitome of what should be the epitome of his build is the epitome of what an alpha male, especially an alpha black man. Is that right, somebody? Is that right? His build, beautiful, dark, melanated man, big muscles and all of that, right? His exterior would signal that he's nothing to play with. But his spirit and his attitude, and of course, it's contributable to the zeitgeist that we find ourselves in today. The mood, the environment that we find ourselves in today has to do with Becky running amok and perverting the Me Too movement. We're seeing a misuse of the Me Too movement, and the moment that we're in, the zeitgeist that we're in right now, is questionable. So this Terry Crews, who should serve as a sign, thank you, Raquel, for your gift, maybe return back to you 1,000-fold, who should be a sign of black male masculinity, is in fact a caricature, is in fact effeminate, with all of the muscles, being married with children, effeminate. Why? Because to be effeminate, to be moist, and I'm using these words in order to try to be as respectful as possible, but I'm also here out of an everlasting frustration that I've been having lately. Somebody talk black to me. I am having an everlasting frustration right now. This is serious because we're at war. You know, I start most of my shows talking to black people about the fact that war has been declared on us by, unequivocally, the United States government, by its words and its deeds. Are you hearing me? And so everything that's done, every gesture, when they try to force our men into these dresses in movies, the imagery that is being exported into the world and into the consciousness of society, it's an act of war. Because this sophisticated battlefield that we're on in America does war via media, does war by the industrial complex, by imprisoning us, does war by putting poison in our food and poison in our water and intentionally miseducating our children, by doing experiments on us, biochemical hacking on black people, using religion, using their institutions and systems like the judiciary to fight against us and to uphold the truth and the lie of white supremacy while we're enforcing the notion of black inferiority. Every move signals something. And this is not a time, as I've said before, for black folk to be showing weakness. Terry Crews, as you already know, showed weakness when this cracker grabbed his package. And the fact that he is alive to tell the story today, the offender, and that there are no teeth missing out of his head, lets you know that our soldiers need to be trained. First in the brain, somebody talk black to me. Not because we are the aggressor. As someone I'm under the teachings of the Nation of Islam, we are taught we are not to be the aggressor. But when it comes down to your life, when it comes down to the dignity of your woman, especially in violations, you are supposed to defend the very gift that God has given you with your life. Somebody talk black to me. Black people have no history. There is absolutely zero precedent of black folk instigating violence against our open oppressors. There is no precedent. There is no example of that whatsoever. Somebody talk black to me. Now, because we're at war and because every action signals something, don't tell me that gestures don't matter. You know, I've done plenty of shows on the power of the media, on images, right? The images, black negative images like the one that I just showed you of Terry Crews, that was a still image, right? We already know about blackface. We already know about what we're seeing now, blackfishing, blackface. It's proliferated throughout. It's a proliferation of these admissions throughout America right now of white folks coming on Democratic and Republican side. Racism is not partisan. Somebody talk black to me. We are seeing them come forward left and right, acknowledging and admitting open acts of racism using images. I gave you all facts. I talked to you from Dr. Professor Barnes, where I gave you receipts from this sister and her book that she had done that breaks down how these negative black images of us was replete throughout society, including it was federalized, she broke down, and even the military, the soldiers had part in the minstrel images and blackface. Images are important, but it's something else to take a still image and animate that thing in the body and in the person of a Terry Crews. Somebody say motion picture. That's why they call it what? Motion picture. It's animated and moves. That's taking that image to a whole other level. Thank you for your gift, Clowning 81. Maybe return back to you. Are you hearing me? The actors having black men that are in dresses. Let me show you, let me read you quickly an excerpt of an article that I found a few years ago. It is from theblackman.com. And I want to say this, I believe it's from Dr. Boyce Watkins. Shout out to Dr. Boyce Watkins. I believe this is an excerpt from one of his writings, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm sounding the alarm. This is a crisis because we're at war, and these moist, damp, humid black males, the condensation, y'all ain't hearing me, the wetness, my God. It's a problem. Somebody said, why is it a problem? Because our black men, by the design of the Creator, just biologically and spiritually, they are made up. They are born. They come packing with inherent and innate build gifts and aptitudes to be the maintainer. The Holy Quran talks about that. That is one that does what? Provides and protects. They are supposed to be the warriors. It doesn't matter how brilliant and how beautiful queens are. It doesn't matter how wonderful your genius child is that has the cure to what some of these devils claim to be incurable diseases. It doesn't matter what a wonderful mathematician they might be and what technological gains they might advance because of their brilliance. If you don't have someone to protect and to provide for that family, for that brilliance, for those beautiful black bodies, who cares about all of that? So there is an assault. Receipts, 414 pages with untold citations, documentations, Understanding the Assault on the Black Man, Black Manhood, Black Masculinity by Dr. Wesley Muhammad. Get it at NOI.org. The information, I'm sure, will be in the comment section. There is a real assault. You need to read this and to understand the assault so that you can stop cooperating with your open enemies, and so that you will know how to best wage war. So we don't need the Terry Cruzes of the world to be signaling to our open enemies weakness, when you ought to be the epitome of a soldier. But Terry Crews was there when his package was grabbed by this devil in the presence of his woman. Houston, we have a problem. He says that his wife, I heard her speak, saying how she encouraged him in times past. He was saying that she had encouraged him in times past. She was present during this interview on Dr. Phil. That if there was somebody ever provoked him and ever did this, that, and the third, for him not to respond. While we can understand that because we want to protect our own husbands, we're working against our own interests, and we are reinforcing the truth and the lie of white supremacy, and we are reinforcing the abuse of Black people. And we're signaling weakness. Don't tell me gestures. Don't tell me those things don't matter. The images don't matter. We've done whole shows on that. We've proven that in no limit of time. We brought you receipts. We brought you media studies that prove that. But we don't even need to go there. We can use anecdotal evidence of how gestures are important. Somebody say, prove it, Vicki. Let me give you a recent example of how powerful gestures are. How many of you know who Nancy Pelosi is? How many of you know who Nancy Pelosi is? Somebody talk Black to me. How many of you know who Nancy Pelosi is? Don't tell me gestures don't matter. You can speak more than one way. Y'all telling me, of course you know who she is. Who is she? She is the Speaker of the House. What did Nancy Pelosi do just the other day at the State of the Union? Did she jump up and scream like one of the other racist, disrespectful congresspersons did when former President Obama was giving the State of the Union, and one of them screamed out, yelled out, "You lie"? Did she scream out? Did she orally or verbally say something? No, she didn't. Did she? What did she do? How did she communicate? How did she communicate? Somebody talk Black to me. She communicated with an unusual way of clapping. And there have been memes going throughout the globe that are quite hilarious. Yes, her clap back to Donald Trump. And he was just, when she was clapping, he was just nod his head like she was just bowing the knee, right? Like she was just bowing the knee. But other folks received that non-verbal gesture as it being the ultimate clapback, and her all but twisting her heel in his nose. Now, I don't give a doggone about the Republican or the Democratic Party, but I am trying to draw your attention to the power of gesture and how those things signal stuff. We don't have time for a big old buff man who ought to be a warrior for the Black community testifying before Congress, crying, talking about he was sexually assaulted because some cracker grabbed his package when he could have beat the brakes off of him and could have signaled something by him coming up with missing teeth. And then get on there to talk about how he was sexually assaulted. I'm not making light of the situation. I'm just saying, bruh, the condensation, the wetness, the moisture, the dampness I'm feeling, and it's dangerous. And while the image I showed you of him with those pink rollers on in that pink outfit is funny, beloved, the situation that Black folk find ourselves in is absolutely not funny. Now, let you hear something here briefly. While I pull this up, those of you who are just tuning in, my name is Vicki Dillard. I'm a very proud contributor right here on FlyNubianQueen.com, the network for melanated women and men just like you. Somebody said, talk Black to me. That's all I can do, baby, is talk Black to you because I am Black. from the inside out. Come in giving us a thumbs up. If you would, give us the thumbs up. Be sure you share. Be sure you repost. Be sure you like. Why? Because this Black commentary is important and we control the narrative. Subscribe to flynubianqueen.com. Subscribe to flynubianqueen.com as well. Why are those things important? It goes exactly to who controls the narrative, who controls our image. That is another way of doing war, of battle. It's us being able to control our own images, us being able to control the narrative. And so, believe it or not, you're saying, well, how can I participate? Yes, by you liking, by you sharing, by you regularly supporting, and by you spreading and sharing Black thought. You are helping us to gain momentum in this war that's being waged economically, that's being waged in labor, that's being waged and affected in our sex lives, that's being waged and affected in our domestic lives at home, that's been waged in government, in education. Somebody talk Black to me. In religion, in media, in arts, in entertainment. This is where the war is being waged. And we're going to keep shining the light on it. Be sure to text the word Queens, family, to 31996. Listen to this excerpt. Success in Hollywood can be, this is from a few years ago, success in Hollywood can be the key to fame, fortune, and the fulfillment of all your dreams as an actor. I'm going somewhere with this. But those dreams can sometimes come at a price, especially for African Americans. One price that may be paid is your dignity and self-respect, leading you to do things you wouldn't normally do if you weren't being paid to do them. See, when you're being paid to do something at the expense of your dignity, come on, somebody, that means you're still a slave. That's why we again encourage you to start your own business. Even if you're still working on the corporate plantation, you can still start to build your hustle on the side to where you are not 100% reliant upon your slave master. Dave Chappelle, while speaking with Oprah about his experience in Hollywood, said he became disillusioned with the fact that nearly every great Black comic and many Black male actors are asked to dress as women at some point in their careers. While some white actors dress as women, the list isn't nearly as long as it is for Black men, who comprise a very small percentage of the men in Hollywood. How many of you know that's just nothing but facts right there? Chris Rock also said that a masculine Black man with a, quote, goatee and bass in his voice has a very difficult time in Hollywood. How many of you, somebody say hashtag Black men's voices matter. Let somebody make sure you get that word. We still are enforcing that and want to remind our dear, beautiful sister, Simone Sanders, we're not trying to troll her, but we're going to school our sister and others like her. Black men's voices, Black men's opinions matter. They were sounded the alarm a long time ago. We better start to listen. When considering the numbers of Black men in Hollywood who have put on a dress for success, ooh, y'all, that's another hashtag, dress for success, with a Black man in some tool or something. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Dress for success. The list is long. Let me read that again. While considering the numbers of Black men, yes, while considering the numbers of Black men in Hollywood who have put on a dress for success, the list is long and a little bit shocking. Y'all want to hear some of the names? Y'all want to hear some of the names? Eddie Murphy. Somebody talk Black to me. Martin Lawrence. Wesley Snipes. Terry Crews. Kevin Hart. LeBron James. Ooh. Kenan Thompson. Jamie Foxx. Tyler Perry. Charles Barkley. Chris Tucker. Ving Rhames. These are actually quite a few. There are actually quite a few others who can be added to the list as well. What's interesting about this list is that if you try to create an equivalent list of white actors who've done the same thing, it's just not nearly as long. The article says, I don't recall seeing Brad Pitt, George Clooney, Leonardo DiCaprio, Matthew McConaughey, and other famous white actors slapping on the miniskirts for laughs. Come on, somebody. Could it be that the black male image is so powerful, domineering, and overwhelming that only a dress, wig, and a little twerk can make it less threatening? See, black folks don't want to be threatening. Somebody else said Kevin Hart, Larry Johnson. Exactly. Somebody said Wayans Brothers. Look how long the list is. And that's separate from what I just said from the article. Yep. It says staff writer, Dr. Boyce Watkins. Shout out to him for that. Isn't that something? They want to make them less threatening. The question needs to be asked, why do they want our men to be less threatening? Somebody say, because they know that we're at war. They're anticipating it. I'm getting ready to pull up something here while I do that. You all keep giving us the thumbs up, thumbs up. Text the word Queens, family, to 31996, please. Text the word Queens to 31996, beloved. I'm pulling up something right now. Be sure to share. Be sure to like. Give us a thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thank you so much. I'm getting ready to pull up something here. Here we go. I want you to hear something. Listen to this. Let me show you. I was disgusted when I saw this video. And I think that you are probably going to be disgusted as well. So prepare yourself. Somebody said, this is war. This is war. How many of you know about your boy that has been in the news a lot lately? Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson, right? We did an entire show on him, right? And I'm going to remind you, here we go. Y'all going to be tripping. Y'all going to be tripping, so prepare yourself. That's why I said go ahead and give us a thumbs up, thumbs up. We have about 620 some odd people with us right now, and our numbers are steadily going up. Give us a thumbs up. We got over 250 thumbs up, so we want to make that number go up. While I prepare to do that, take a quick moment, family. Let's en masse give a thumbs up, en masse share, en masse like. If you have a Twitter account, do really quick, go over there real quick and do a tweet and tell them to tune in to FlyNubianQueenTV.com now. If you can go live somewhere on your Facebook page or your Instagram page, or you can send a tweet, or you can put up a post, we can do stuff simultaneously nowadays with technology, because I'm getting ready to show you, you're getting ready to hear the voice of this man that I want you to know, who also inspired me to ask the question, is there a crisis of moist black men today in a time of war? Now, Liam Neeson, let me remind you, remember, he was the one who was supposed to be, thank you for your gift, Chief Rocka, maybe return back to you 1,000-fold. Remember, he was supposed to be doing an interview. I'm getting ready to read from you an excerpt from the Guardian newspaper. Remember, he was doing an interview for an upcoming movie, right? And your boy was feeling himself. He was feeling so comfortable. He must have thought he was in that pub. He thought he was in a pub talking to one of his boys. He felt so relaxed and so cool that he divulged the fact. He gave inspiration, the motivation, the impetus that caused him to play this role in this movie that he's in, right? And this is what's warfare. So this is spiritual warfare too, family. He conjures up, he received inspiration from an energy from decades ago in him wanting to kill what he called some black bastard. Based off, as far as I know, an unsubstantiated, an unproven allegation of a Caucasian woman claiming to have been raped by a black man. I'm going to remind you a little bit of what he said, and then you're getting ready to listen to some audio. Don't forget, Neeson, whose career for the past 15 years has been defined by a series of revenge thrillers, was speaking to promote the latest Cold Pursuit, in which he plays a man avenging the murder of his son, right? All right. Don't forget these important facts, family. In the interview for The Independent, Neeson says he understood the primal motivation. See, don't forget this. He said what? The primal motivation for his motivation his character feels. Wow. God forbid you've ever had a member of your family hurt under criminal conditions, he said. before recounting the story of a time many years ago when he returned from overseas to discover that a woman he knew well, he did not specify if she was a friend or family member, had been raped. She handled the situation of the rape in the most extraordinary way, he said. But my immediate reaction was, I asked, did she know who he was? He said, that's the first thing he said. Did she know who he was? That's the first question he asked. The second was, he said, no. The answer was no. The second was, what color were they? Don't you find that a little strange that the second thing that comes out of his mouth to the woman is, what color were they? I think that says something too. Let's keep going. She said it was a black person. Neeson continued, I went up and down areas with the kosh. Remember, kosh is a slang Britain term for like a metal stick or some sort of a stick of sorts. With the kosh, hoping I'd be approached by somebody. He said, hoping I'd be approached by somebody. I'm ashamed to say that, and I did it for maybe a week, hoping some, quote, black bastard would come out of a pub and have a go at me about something, you know? Notice he said about something, not about an injustice, but just have a go at me about something. Just some black bastard. His words. He goes on to say, I did it for about a week, hoping that some black bastard would come out of a pub and have a go at me about something, you know, so that I could kill him. The nature of your open enemy is that of a beast. He is telling you what he is thinking, and Liam is not deserving of any reward because he is divulging not just what he believes, he is divulging who he is, the nature of who he is. Any righteous person would understand, would be angry and upset to want to go after the perpetrator. But what manner of devil, what kind of man? Not everybody is a regular man. Y'all ain't ready for that today. Everybody's not a regular man. That's why there's a such thing as mankind. There's a kind of a man around this that's roaming the streets of the globe. There's a kind of a man that's roaming global streets. Let me say that again. There's a kind of a man that's roaming global streets today. And they're quite all right not going after the one that's responsible for the alleged rape of this white woman, which we can definitely say is, first of all, suspicious, and we need to prove it first. Because historically, factually, white women do lie. This is just history. These are facts that can be proven in no limit of time. So don't forget that's what he said, right? Now listen to this audio. Here we go. For those of you who are just tuned in, real quick, my name is Vicki Dillard. I'm here Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on FlyNubianQueenTV.com, the network for melanated women like you. There are other queens that are here like Danielle Pierce. She is so dope, who talks about property and real estate on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. Joanna Man, he's on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. They had a powwow yesterday. There were several of them on a panel yesterday that was very, very fiery. The parts that I caught, and he's on those days at 9:30 Eastern. Michi X, of course, weekdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. So you don't want to miss it, family. Now, here we go. I want you to listen. In the wake of Liam Neeson coming out, expressing the nature, his murderous nature, and those other like him, because you know he's a symbol of other men that think like him, that are motivated like him, whose nature is like him. We have this, beloved. Can you see this picture? I always like you to know what you're looking at. Watch this picture. This is who you're watching. This is who you're getting ready to hear right now. The voices that you're hearing are from Sky News Center. These are the two voices that you're getting ready to listen to. Do you see the black-skinned man? His name is, the black-skinned man. He's a baller. He's a ball player. Are y'all ready for what this ball player, this black-skinned ball player is going to say? This international coon, international Negro. While I prepare the volume, I'm getting the volume ready. We need some more thumbs up, more likes, and more shares, family. Keep giving us a thumbs up, keep liking and keep sharing. Okay, here we go. Here we go. His name, by the way, is John Barnes, that ball player. John Barnes is on, he's a former England. Yeah, he's a former England football player. A former England football player by the name of John Barnes. Somebody put John Barnes' name in the comment section. We're going to need to refer to this coon throughout. This enemy of black people throughout. That's the voice you're listening to now. So look at the optics of this. You've got the white journalist that's going to look like he's checking the black man. But it's the black man that's running interference with someone who expresses a murderous intent. Y'all ready? Let me turn the volume up. Okay. Here we go.
I believe that Liam Neeson deserves a medal, and I'll tell you why. Well, first of all, I just want you to give me a few minutes because I believe that Liam Neeson deserves a medal, and I'll tell you why.
The volume is kind of low, but the first part of this ball player, this little soccer player, he says that Liam Neeson, this Negro, this black-faced man says he deserves a medal. So listen closely because I'm turning the volume up as high as I can. Come on, here we go.
I'll tell you why. Liam Neeson, I've listened to the whole transcript. Liam Neeson was talking about his film Revenge, and he's talking about revenge doesn't do anyone any good. He mentions the fact that being brought up in Northern Ireland, he understands how destructive that can be. He went on to tell a story of a situation of our friend of his had been raped. Now, if you listen to everything he's talking about in the moment, and you can't blame Liam Neeson for thinking what he feels, because this is what, and this is a while ago, this is what society has shown him that black people do, Muslims do. This is what society has wrongly shown him. This is what the media have wrongly portrayed to him. So in that moment, he said for a week, he was going around looking to kill a black person or a black, and he did that in quotation marks. Now, what he actually went on to say is that he was ashamed and horrified by the way he felt. Yes? He's not ashamed and horrified and wanted to commit the act of revenge. He's ashamed and horrified because that is what he thought about all black people. After a week, he realized he was wrong. That is what he said. I'm ashamed and horrified of the way I felt. Now, depending on how you want to spin this story, now it's about he was going to kill a black person. We want to ventilate. That is not what I said. That is not what I got from that. We don't want to spin it. I beg your pardon? I said we don't want to spin it. We want to think about it and ventilate it. It's an important subject. No. It's been spun. It's been spun. Because if you want to think about what he's actually saying, the context, which is why he then said to the lady, in his voice, I've got a particular set of skills if you don't report this in the way that it is meant. Now we're talking about, and he's trying to kill the woman. What he's actually saying is that he's horrified and ashamed of the way he felt. He went on to say that. That is exactly what he went on to say, which meant that he was ashamed of the way he felt, but you cannot blame him for thinking that, because I said earlier, with the whole Raheem Sterling talking about the influence the media has, you cannot blame people for thinking Muslims, because of Muslim grooming gangs, Jamaican yardie gangs, then look at Muslims and Jamaicans in a negative light. And he's admitting that that is the way he viewed it. So, for this one black person who raped this woman, he then looked at it from the perspective of all black people are racist. Now, what he's actually saying is that this is what I thought, this is what I saw, and I am ashamed and horrified. And after a week, I said to myself, what am I doing? That is the reality behind it. As much as...
Did y'all hear what he just said? Family, did you all hear what he just said? That was a ball player. Now, I wish you could see his build, because he's got a strong build as well. And even though this ball player that's running interference for this murderous expression of Liam Neeson, he's caping for him. And even though he's got this big buff bill in similar fashion as your boy, Terry Crews, he's still feminine because he's running interference for an open enemy. Now I'm getting ready to pull you up Terry Crews' tweet that he just recently came out with. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me, family? Isn't that something? Watch this. Are you ready? Are you ready? This is unbelievable. Watch this. Here we go. So Terry Crews, with his feminine self, put out a tweet that the world has been rightly dragging him on. Because I said we're at war, family. You heard and you just saw this picture of a black man that says that Liam Neeson is deserving of a medal because he came out and acknowledged his twisted, murderous intention. He didn't just acknowledge murderous intentions. He acted upon those murderous intentions for a week to a week and a half. And this so-called coon, that's how we use the phrase nowadays, even if it has slightly different meaning back in the day. But this is who white media puts up to cape for him. You see the optics, the irony in the optics to have this white journalist question this black man about the murderous and racist intent of another white man? Watch this. Listen to this tweet from Terry Crews. Terry Crews, who called for the forgiving, my understanding sometime back, of the man who grabbed his balls. He's running around the world telling everybody, me too, me too, me too, like he's one of the girls, and refused to do anything in order to make sure he could remain a superstar. It's not that he couldn't get a job at Trader Joe's like the Bill Cosby guy was working. Somebody talk black to me. It's not like he couldn't have received an education to go work in corporate America or start his own business, to start his own media company or something, or whatever it was that was in his heart. He chose to sell his soul to a degree. Somebody talk black to me. He chose not to hit that cracker in the face, and not to protect himself and to respect himself and to defend himself, especially in the presence of his woman, for fortune, for fame, for power. He goes on to say that. But don't forget, remember Terry Crews got into an argument with his own black brothers when who? Remember when D.L. Hughley told him that God gave him muscles to say no and mean it? Somebody better talk. Please talk black to me. Joanne Lewis is talking black to me. Joanne Lewis is talking black to me. Joanne Lewis is talking black to me. Thank you, sis. Joanne is talking black to me. Y'all, am I telling the truth or am I telling the truth? So Terry Crews is calling for the forgiveness of this man, talking about he's sexually assaulted. DL, 50 Cent, and Tariq Nasheed was just saying, bruh, you know, they weren't being disrespectful. Men think differently than women. See, that's how you know when a man has been feminized. Is when he gets upset when black, intelligent, masculine men gives him an alternative way of dealing with something. The whole purpose of the Me Too movement is supposed to be about us expressing and having a voice, right, for sexual assault victims. It initially started for the voices of black sexual assault victims whose voices were not heard, right? So when you're making your situation known, when you're telling your story about sexual assault or some injustice, that means that by you telling your story, by exposing it, right, you are expecting that to be a deterrent for more sexual assault. Even though more sexual assault might occur, you are hoping that by exposing it, it would be less, that you would mitigate the chances of sexual assault in the lives of people because they expose it, right? Thank you, Lala, for that gift. May it be returned to you 1,000-fold, right? But that's a feminine, that's a women's organization. That's how we women tend to deal with things, right? And that's fine. But men are different. And I'm okay with a masculine, warrior-like, intelligent man who comes with his own righteous, somebody say righteous, when he comes with his own righteous solutions. Men and women think differently. We're supposed to be able to operate in a world where we deal with people who think differently. Well, DL and them saying, well, hey, just like the Me Too movement, by talking about it and exposing sexual assault is supposed to act as a deterrent for more sexual assault. Bruh, your muscles could have stopped some sexual assault. Somebody talk back to me. What's wrong with that? You telling me you're so far removed from what an actual righteous black masculine man is that you find it to be upsetting and disrespectful for black men to say God gave you muscles for a reason? Don't forget, I showed you all a clip, did I not? When Terry Crews went before Congress to testify about sexual assault, to tell his story, remember the Congresswoman Feinstein told him what? Thank you for your gift, Kenny. Maybe return back to you 1,000-fold. Congresswoman, powerful Senator, Congresswoman Feinstein asked Terry Crews. She said, why didn't you do anything? She says, you're a big, strong man. He didn't cuss her out like he did his black brothers and threatened to slap them. Terry Crews threatened to slap black men who were trying to give him solutions to deter further sexual assault. But meanwhile, Terry Crews is running around the world trying to talk about forgiveness of the man that committed the sexual assault. That lets you know how deep the black self-hatred goes. And we're calling that mess out. But Terry didn't stop there. Terry took to Twitter February 5th. What's today, family? Is today February 7th? Just 48 hours ago, Terry ran his little hips. Terry ran his little hips to Twitter and said these words about Liam Neeson, the white actor who just exposed his murderous intent against black men. Terry Crews, here's his tweet. So y'all know I ain't lying. Y'all know I believe in receipts. Y'all know I believe in connecting the dots. You know I believe in framing stuff properly as best I can. Terry's little tweet. Terry done ran to his tweet. He fights with his thumbs. See, that's another effeminate thing. I don't want to see men do that all the time. You can't just fight with thumbs on Twitter. Some of you all are some of my worst trolls. Some of the worst ones that drag me are black men that fight with their thumbs. You feel like a loser at home. You feel like a loser at work. Nobody else listens to you. Nobody else hears you. So the only way you can be heard is by you coming on my Twitter page, my Instagram page, or even this feed and say something crazy about my hair. I know I'm digressing right now, but I'm just letting you know that's a feminine trait. If you 200 pounds with muscles, 200 pounds with muscles, and you typing and fighting with your thumbs on these social media streets about sister girl's hair, my braids, you are effeminate. Men don't spend all night and day talking about women's hair. When they can afford to get it done, they don't use and fight with thumbs on Twitter because they feel like a loser at home and on the job, and because they don't have a voice nowhere else. The only way they can get a voice and be heard and feel powerful is saying something crazy to me, a stranger who would never date them or court them anyway. Thank you for your gift, Trina. Thank you for your gift, Jay. Maybe return back to you 1,000-fold. Jay said, I like your hair. Thank you, Jay. I'm so glad you like my hair. But y'all know I do not suffer from low self-esteem. Please know I was not an activist that was a target of powerful Wall Street entities that was fighting in federal courts, state courts, and county courts, who brought cases and lawsuits, civil cases against some of the most powerful people on the planet. You know I was not looked at by the most powerful investigatory firm because they were being pressured by Wall Street entities, family. You do not believe for 1 second that I did years in the belly of the beast and fought and fought. Thank you, Cassandra, for your gift. For me to come out of the belly of the beast, for me to suffer from depression from somebody who could only fight with their thumbs on social media and talk about hair and black men that use their platforms. And the reason why some of them even make a living is because they talk about women like myself. They can't afford to get it done, some of them. And for those that can, they make their living on their platforms dogging and attacking Black women, talking about their hair. Not the KKK. Who's the KKK? The Kardashians. Khloe, Kim, what's the girl name? Courtney, Kim, and them. That's the KKK. They all, you know, they wear weaves, don't you? You sure not about to say that to Beyonce. See, people that's in that realm, they don't come down on no low level. That's a girly thing. Girls do stuff like that. Only women talk about hair all day. You've been made to be effeminate. If you have a problem with it, you don't have to court that person. They probably don't want you no way, but there's other options out there. But I digress. Vicki, get back on the subject. Family, forgive me, but I'm fixing to read this to you real quick. Text the word Queens to 31996. Welcome those of you who are just tuning in. We're getting close to 800 people, over 400 thumbs up. Give us some more thumbs up. Come in liking, come in sharing, come in giving us a thumbs up. Text the word Queens to 31996. Family, we thank you so much that you're subscribing to FlyNubianQueen.com. Thank you that you meet me here weekdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Michi X weekdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, as well as Danielle Pierce Tuesdays and Thursdays 11 a.m. She talks about real estate, family. Joanna Man, also, your name is Miguel Nunez. He's here on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9:30 Eastern. Now listen, Terry Crews, who's running around the world with all of them muscles and the six packs and all of that, talking about he was sexually assaulted because this white man grabbed his package and he did not use those muscles to enforce the proverbial no. Terry Crews took to Twitter to defend this man here. That's Liam Neeson, the one that just came out talking about how he was looking to go kill a Black man. Here's Terry. I believe that every person on earth is capable of the greatest good or unspeakable evil. Liam is just describing his fork in the road. Somebody please come pick me up off of these Colorado streets. Please, somebody. Please. Deborah said, oh no. Did you hear what I said? This is Terry Crews' tweet. Please, you're welcome to go to his Twitter page. Don't troll him in a negative way, but please give him this link. Family, we all have a call to action when we get done watching the Vicki show during the weekdays. We can always share the link with somebody on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Snapchat, wherever on social media to increase this Black voice and our Black perspective. Because we need to help him. He needs to understand we're at war and we need him to quit signaling weakness. I'm going to read that again. Terry Crews the other day, it wasn't enough for him to keep running around the world to talk about that white man that grabbed his package that he didn't do nothing about in the presence of his woman. But now he's sitting here caping like that other ball player for this Liam Neeson. I said Terry, with all of the muscles, said, I believe that every person on earth is capable of the greatest good or unspeakable evil. Liam is just describing his fork in the road. They started to drag, folks started to drag Terry Crews' butt, and rightly so. I'm sorry. I'm not fixing to be one of those sisters that's going to give you that high five for weakness. I'm going to say that you're acting as a traitor to your nation. That's the Black nation. By signaling that. Thank you for your gift, John L. You said I had a cave beast to do the same thing to me. Terry Crews had happened a while in high school on a different situation. Okay, bless your heart. Well, thank you for your gift. Maybe return back to you 1,000-fold. We don't have time for this kind of stuff. What do you mean? Why would you open up your mouth to say something like that? If you can understand and sympathize with the open enemy who has been oppressing us in one way or another for over 400 years, why can't you show that same level of empathy and sympathy for the restoration of your brother R. Kelly? Somebody talk Black to me. Do you believe in the restoration of R. Kelly, even though at least in one of R. Kelly's situations, he had to go through the court of law and he prevailed? Like it or lump it, he prevailed. Answer me that question, somebody. with all this condensation and moisture I'm feeling around this mug. It's a little dewy right now where I'm at. It's a little dewy. Help me to understand that. That's a sick love for your open enemies. What you heard that other man say, that ball player John Barnes say, that Neum deserves a medal because he came out and said that and talk about how bad he felt. And some of you silly people that out here that don't understand that you're not able to read the tea leaves of this thing. Let me help you. Let me help you real quick. Number one, he was not just in him hunting for the person that committed this alleged assault on this white woman. That's number one. He said he was looking for any black person. And he hung out going up and down different streets, hoping that one of them would come out of a pub and just start something with him. And he wanted to kill them. So for those of you who don't understand the power of one black man's image, notice Liam did not say he was looking for the individual black man. I'm going to keep reinforcing that he was looking for anybody that had black skin. And the way the subconscious mind works is that one of you is all of you. Somebody talk black. One of you is all of you. Somebody say he's a predator. You got that right. He's a predator. Just like George Zimmerman, that off-brand Boy Scout, that off-brand murderous Boy Scout vigilante, wannabe failed police officer who was in Trayvon's neighborhood, physically trolling him, hunting him, killing him. And then you got this other Negro out here caping for him in that manner. You are a traitor to your people. Some of the same allegations that they had against John McCain, where they said that he was over there at Vietnam snitching, giving secrets to the enemy. There's credible information that supports some of that. Notice I said credible information. I'm not going all out on that, but there's so many other reasons why we call him a murderer. You all know I did a whole show on him. You know, I did a show on George Bush when he died, and I discussed in depth how America celebrates her killers. That is the nature. Our enemies are showing us their nature. Listen to this. And it's dangerous. It's very dangerous. Some of the solutions, I want to read you this real quick. Dr. Wesley Muhammad, here's the book again. Understanding the Assault on the Black Man, Black Manhood, Black Masculinity. You saw those feminine images that's exported to the world of our black men, right? You heard what I just said about some of these things that are going on with our men. Listen to what Dr. Wesley Muhammad says on page 6 and 7 from his book. He says that the white man feminized the black man before a black man was ever born in America. Y'all better hear me today. We're talking about war strategies. I said again, the white man, this is Dr. Wesley Muhammad, the great scholar. The white man feminized the black man before a black man was ever born in America. During the age of European expansion, European race theory. Did you hear what I said? European race theory. They're pseudo-scientific theories on the character and nature of the races of men characterize the African as the lady of the human race. Y'all better hear me. This was a part of the European race theory, their global strategy, their global worldview, their global agenda was that what? The African, the black man was what? The lady of the race. Don't tell me. Let me finish reading this. The lady of the race over and against the masculine, Anglophone European the true man of the human race. Not because the white male really was convinced of that, but because his masculinity was to be the only masculinity recognized and legalized in any areas under his power. Wherever the white man has set his boot, his is the only manhood that is tolerable. So where he conquers on the earth, he must neutralize the masculinity and manhood of the local men. This is an emergency broadcast system. I'm sounding the alarm because this is an everlasting, a seemingly everlasting frustration that I am having with the proliferation of Black images. One person on my Instagram page, a beautiful, beautiful brother, was saying, Sister Vicki, a lot of us brothers out here in the streets, we ain't like some of these fake celebrities, fake male celebrities out here. I'm sounding the alarm because we understand the power of images and we see how this warfare is happening. Remember I said a few minutes ago, this is also spiritual warfare. Spiritual warfare. The images, stuff that happens in your subconscious, the parts of you that you can't see, but that are very real. Are you hearing me? That's how they cast a spell. That's how they do their spell work on you, Black man and Black woman. They're involved in the quote unquote dark arts, but because we're the mothers and the fathers of civilizations, because we are the ones that had the original hand and the original blueprint on how things are supposed to be, we serve as the archetype, as the pattern for all things. We can tap into through knowledge, our sanctified minds by and through the Creator, Almighty God. Allah is what I call him. You might call, that's just Arabic for God. You might call him by the Hebrew name Yah or Yahweh. Know him by Jehovah. Some of you may say the God of the universe. Let me help you today. You can tap into the power of the Creator, of the God and the ancestors, beloved, and have the advantage of the spiritual arts to gain understanding and insight on how to warfare so that you can be restored back to your sanctified mind, because clearly you are out of it. Dr. Wesley Muhammad says again, the white man feminized the Black man. This is not just conjecture. This was what? A part of the global European race theory, the pseudo-scientific theory. They characterize the African as a lady of the race. Don't tell me, let me pull this image back up. Don't tell me when you see this image on my Instagram page. Don't tell me. Y'all see this? While you're looking at this image, I'm fixing to reread you this quote again. The white man feminized the Black man before a Black man was ever born in America. During the age of European expansion, European race theory, their pseudo-scientific theories on the character and nature of the races of men characterize the African as the lady of the race. Family, does he look like just a lady right there or not? With those pink rollers on and that pink lipstick and that robe. Does he look like a lady or what? Somebody talk Black to me. Somebody talk Black to me. Does he look like a lady or what? That ball player, what's his name? John Barnes, who I just showed you, who's sitting there caping for this murderous intention. This dude right here. Look at him. Just look at him. I'm not playing the volume. And by the way, even if I did, this is the purpose of news, commentary, and public consumption. Look at him. He looks strong and buff, doesn't he? But when you go in there acting like that, caping for your open enemy, baby, you a lady. You are a lady. You are a lady. Listen to some of the solutions. Listen to some of the solutions. Listen. The greatest antidote, number one, is knowledge. It's knowledge and understanding of what's going on. I put up a post on my Instagram page the other day. By the way, you can follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. Follow me at Vicki X Dillard. Follow me at Vicki X Dillard. I'm just a few people away from 4,000. Y'all are really helping me grow my page. I'm happy to grow at my pace. You hear me? I'm happy to grow at a healthy pace. Vicki X Dillard is how you can follow me on Instagram, family. Look at this. Look what I put up the other day. This was a post that I just put up the other day. Knowledge makes a man unfit to be a slave. Somebody talk black to me. Knowledge makes a man unfit to be a slave. So one of the first things we have to know is knowledge. What does the scripture say? My people perish. My people are destroyed for what? Lack of knowledge. Knowledge of who? Who the true God is, who you are, black man and black woman, and who the real devil is. That's going to set you free. One of the greatest dangers, one of the greatest threats to the truth and the lie of white supremacy is the big black brain. They cannot afford, they cannot abide the black man to be intelligent and to be free thinking, because when you are filled with knowledge, you are unfit to be a slave. You are unfit to be in bondage. You are unfit to be controlled. You are unfit to be pimped. You are unfit to have your package grabbed and you running around the world acting helpless and hopeless like you didn't have any power to put that offender in check. Kate for Bill Cosby like that. How can you show such grace, such understanding, such insight for a man who expressed murderous intentions? He didn't just think it. He acted on it, and he is reflective and representative of so many others, because we're seeing the George Zimmermans manifest before our eyes as predators. That's the true predator. Embrace your masculinity. I said, somebody embrace your masculinity. And sisters, let's stop getting in the way of the black man manifesting and embracing his masculinity. They're not like us. Quit being a lady on these YouTube streets, talking about people's hair that you can't afford to get done anyway. Don't worry about Sister Vicki girl's braids. You looking too much like, you acting too much like a lady. Little girl, stay in your lane. Detaching from the system, starting to do for self, supporting and strengthening black businesses, black industries. Somebody talk black to me. With the foods that they're poisoning us with, one of the main foods that we are taught by God himself that we can start to eat, to start to begin to neutralize all of the poisons in our food, believe it or not, is the navy bean. Did you all know that? Is the navy bean. That's one practical thing food-wise that you can do. Mentally, begin to educate yourself. Connect with black businesses to do for self, to strengthen our own industry so that we can begin to incubate. Because first you got to come out of the thing that's killing you. Ooh, that was good. If you expect to grow, if you expect to get better, and if you expect the black nation to strengthen, you have to first detach from the thing that's killing you. Your goal can no longer be, my destiny is to be the first black person in this corporate plantation. It's understandable that you're there for a season. I've worked in that the corporate plantation for many years. Nobody's dissing you for that, but it is how you're using your dollars and cents. It's how you're stacking your coins. Can you strategize? Can you utilize that job and treat it like it is what's funding your business, your side hustle? Somebody said detoxify. That's exactly right. You have to first detach, start to detach from the thing that's killing you. Are you hearing me? Use your voice on social media. Use your voice when you repost, when you introduce these concepts. Let this be your water cooler conversation with the right people, of course. Now, if you're there with a whole bunch of Beckys and Chucks, then you might want to be, more circumspect in your conversations. Keep that on the low there. But you need to be building on the side. You know the old statement the old folks used to say, don't let your left hand know what your right hand doing. Don't let your left hand know what your right hand's doing. Y'all hearing me? Be wise as a serpent, gentle as a dove. Understanding what's at play. Is there a crisis of moist black men? I think that our open enemy wants it to be, but there's something that we can do about it, and we are not powerless because we have both the physical and the metaphysical. And I'm going to keep stressing those things. You know why? Because their guns are bigger than ours right now, family. They have nuclear weapons. And just like you saw the State of the Union the other day, most of them were old white men, old white rich men. Do you know at least 40% of Congress are millionaires? Majority white male men at that. These are the ones that controls the elections. These are the ones that controls the laws and the rules. Of course, laws and rules and statutes, codifications, these are things that are what? They control our conduct. So we're compelled, we're forced to have to do what they tell us to do. They legislate those things. But there needs to be some righteous civil disobedience. There needs to be a black agenda where we're all on code. There needs to be a common respect amongst us. There needs to be some of us tapping into what our ancestors tapped into when Haiti, for example, and I love to talk about Haiti because it's the nation that's within proximity of America. The reason why those former slaves were able to beat the brakes off of the greatest generals and sent Napoleon's butt packing was because they consulted with the clairvoyants, with the spiritualists, and then they engaged in effective guerrilla warfare. Somebody talk black to me. They combined the best of both worlds. Somebody said 1804. Absolutely. They combined the best of both worlds. Somebody says, I'm not a fan of the Haitians. Let me help you. We're trying to extract the principle that the Haitians executed, notwithstanding still some of the battles that they're involved in now, but we're talking about the warfare strategies they engaged in when they sent Napoleon packing. We got to learn how to pull treasures out of stuff. We got to quit being deaf, dumb, and blind around this mug. Pay attention so that we can employ those strategies here amongst ourselves as a nation within a nation. And I want us to know that we are not powerless. We have other forms of energy. If we but unify. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said what? That the unity amongst black people, once we unify, when we unify, that our unity is what? Is greater than an atomic bomb. It's more powerful than an atomic bomb. Energy is neither created nor destroyed. It just changes forms. What is that to say? That means that our unity, when we come together in aggregate, in black aggregate, let's call it that, in black aggregate as one, it is just a different type of energy. And God knows what we're able to accomplish together. Somebody said the code. Absolutely, beloved. Thank you so much for tuning in, family. My time is up. Let me get ready to get off of here, but I thank you so much for tuning in, family. We had quite a few that were on here tonight. We thank you for meeting me here tomorrow. Even if the notifications don't go out, and you know they be tripping a lot of times on our show. Would you please assure me that you'll meet Sister Vicki here tomorrow, same time, 6:30 p.m. Eastern? And would you tell other people, would you tag, would you share the information and meet me here, even if you don't receive a notification? I see y'all giving me fires and all types of emojis and ashes and thumbs up and hearts and stars. Thank you so much for being with us. I want to remind you to subscribe to flynubianqueen.com. That's our own platform. That's our own website. Take a quick moment to just put your email in there, hit a couple of other buttons, and boom, you're done. And we're in direct connect, and plus you'll have access to other wonderful content. We also have a large platform on Facebook at flynubianqueen.com, where we have over 420,000 subscribers. Be sure to go there because some of my content, as well as so many other beautiful queens, information is there as well. And of course here, flynubianqueentv.com, Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Look out for us, family, because we're taking the world by storm, and we're just getting started. Text the word Queens to 31996. Support black businesses. One of the things you can go to, again, shop fnq.com. Get your mug. And when you buy some of these things, family, go to my Instagram page at Vicki X Dillard. Send me a picture of it and tag me so that I can see it. And I'll put it up on my Instagram page, on my Insta story. Would you do that? shopfnq.com. If you go to shopfnq.com, show me where you're drinking out of it, you're getting a gift for someone else, and then tag me at Vicki X Dillard on Instagram. By the way, you can follow me right here on my YouTube page at Vicki Dillard. Thank you so much for tuning in, family. It's a great, great honor to be with you. Make sure you pay attention to those solutions. If you've forgotten some of the things that I said, listen to this again. Share this with other people. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me? Somebody said, talk black to me, free the land. Indeed, talk black to me. That's all we know how to do. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for spending time with us. It is indeed an honor. It is indeed, for me, destiny and the highest privilege to come before you. By the way, I am so excited because pretty soon, y'all, I'm getting ready to debut something that has been a dream of mine, but that I now have actual support, and it's going down, beloved. What's going down, family? I'm getting ready to start my first official master class, my first official intimate master class. That's going to be 8 weeks, an 8-week master class that's getting ready to go down, where you have direct access to me, private access to me, where we're going to be talking about some breakthrough principles. Your sister is not battling and incrementally standing and surviving autoimmune disease that they've labeled lifelong. I am not here broadcasting before the world for no reason. I did not endure and go through years battling some of the most powerful forces, the United States of America, Wall Street agents and entities and others, as an activist, and even through civil cases and even through a criminal proceeding. I did not go through that. And then years in the belly of the beast without some principles to overcome. Somebody talk black to me. I'm not now manifesting my destiny, broadcasting to the world on this wonderful network and so many others for no reason. So I want you to stay tuned for information that I'm going to be sharing with you very, very soon, related to, and I'm so excited, related to my masterclass that's getting ready to go down really soon. And it's going to be absolutely amazing. I'm so excited, and I have the necessary support, and I hope to see many of you there. I have more of that information available soon because the URLs are already available. I was hoping to pull up some of that right now, but so far, family, I'm just really excited about what's happening. And so I'll have more information, should be more information tomorrow on Club Vicki, family, on Club Vicki. It's getting ready to start going down. I'm so excited. I'm so excited on my masterclass. So stay tuned. Again, let me see you at Vicki X Dillard on Instagram. Follow me there. I leave you in the manner in which I came. That is in peace. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom.